Okay, it's been a while since I did a One Piece video, but thanks to Teching 101 who made another video about this topic earlier tonight, it finally inspired me to start this series. And it's going to be a fanfiction series, and it's going to be called What If Vivi Joined the Straw Hat Crew? I know it's not the most original title you've heard when discussing this topic or reading about this topic, but it's just what we're going to go with for now until I can think of something else. So, there will be some Tristan tones. Like, I'm sure you've heard a dozen iterations of Vivi wants to the rendezvous point and she tells the Straw Hat she wants to join up, and they let her join up right then and there. But there will be a Tristan tone to that, and I'm going to start off the story right when the Straw Hats are leaving the Alabaster Palace, and they are telling Vivi, look, you want to join our crew? Join us at the rendezvous point, tell us, and we will happily bring you a boat. And so Vivi's contemplating it, and she decides that, yes, with all her heart, she wants to be a part of the Straw Hat crew. And the next morning, she will be going to the rendezvous point, telling the Straw Hats what's going on. And she's going to become a part of their crew, and everything's going to be good. No matter what they have to face down from then on, everything's going to be good for her because she's a part of the crew she loves so much, and she's doing what she loves with them. And so she tells her father and the hierarchy of Alabaster the next morning what she's going to do. And, you know, at first, King Cobra is... I actually... Okay, real fast. I just realized... King Cobra. I just realized that. Okay, I like that. Good job. But moving on. Okay, so... Vivi tells Cobra what's gonna happen, and he's realizes his daughter's grown up in the past 2 years. Like, she has seen and experienced so much, and he knows that she is now her own woman. He has no right to stop her from doing what she wants to do. And so he tells her this, and he tells her, I love you, I hope you have a safe trip, good luck, tell Luffy and the others good luck for me, and farewell, my daughter. And, you know, they hug, and Vivi takes Karu, and they run to the rendezvous point. And she makes it there, and the Straw Hats are beginning to set sail, and she realizes that the Navy is on their tail. And that's when she comes to a realization. As much as she wants to join the crew, as much as her heart aches for it, she can't. And it's not the canon reason why she didn't. In my storyline, the only reason she doesn't do it is because she sees the Navy is on the Straw Hats' tail. And if she were to tell the Straw Hats, I want to go with you now, then they're going to do everything they can to bring her aboard. Like, maybe Luffy will stretch out his arm to her and pull her onto the ship, and then they outrun the government. The problem is, even if they do manage to outrun the government, the world government is going to be like, why did Princess Vivi of Alabaster just join the Straw Hat Pirates? So you know, and Vivi knows especially, that night or the next day even, the government is going to be knocking on King Cobra's door, and they're going to be like, why did Vivi just join the Straw Hats? And it's King Cobra and his hierarchy, and even Koza and the remaining rebels, they're not going to give up Vivi. They're not going to turn on her. They're going to fight for her, no matter the cost. And so Vivi, she wants to end that before it begins, because she knows the world government is just going to annihilate Alabaster, especially with what the country had just been through with Crocodile the day before. There was no way Alabaster would be able to defeat the world government of all things in a war. So, with tears flooding down her face, she takes the transponders now, and she gives the same speech that she gave the Straw Hats in the canon storyline. She tells them goodbye and thank you, and she hopes that they'll always be friends and crewmates. And the Straw Hats, they raise their hands and show her the X marks, and it's just it's an even sadder version than it already was in the canon storyline. And then the Straw Hats, they escape like they did in canon, and Vivi, she says, "Let's go, Karu," and they go back to the palace. And so Cobra and everyone is like, "What happened?" And she's like, "I decided not to go." And, she goes to her room, she shuts and locks the door, and her and Karu, they just spend the rest of the day, crying over and over again and moping around. They're upset. They don't know what to do. They just, all they can do is wish Luffy and the rest of the crew good luck. And in that time, just that throughout that entire night, Vivi is envisioning everything that could have been. Like, she envisions the day that Luffy and the others, along with her, would have finally made it to Rafter, finally find the One Piece, and the world would have no choice but to acknowledge Luffy is the new Pirate King. He has taken up the mantle left behind by Roger. And Vivi would just be honored just to even just be a background character and all that, just to be with the crew and to experience that with them. But now she can't, and that just tears her heart apart even more, and even more viciously than before. And she has no choice but to accept that as her reality. And so the next morning, she's giving herself a pep talk. She's like, "It happened. I'm not going with them. I just have to live with it. And I need to be happy for my country. I need to do everything I can to make sure Alabasta gets back on its feet. And they need a strong princess. I'm going to be as strong a princess as I can possibly be for them." And so for the next few months, she does exactly that, like she does in the canon storyline. But here's where Vivi's chance comes. Because one morning she's reading the paper, and the top story is about a certain pirate crew that invaded Innie's lobby, defeated CP9, destroyed the island, and still managed to escape and are currently hiding out on Water 7. Also, their ship is destroyed, so they are stuck on Water 7. And now the government is going to send its best of the best men after the Straw Hats to annihilate them. There will be no arrests. There will be no due process. They are just going to go to Water 7 and destroy the Straw Hats even worse than a Buster Call would have. So Vivi tells her father what really happened, and she tells her father the Straw Hats are on Water 7. The government is coming after them. They have no ship. I can go there. I can join up with them, and I can save them. I can finally do what I want to do in life, and I can save them in the process. And King Cobra, of course, he already had that realization moment with Vivi. You're your own woman. I'm not going to stop you from doing what you want to do. So if this is what you really want to do, then I would love nothing more than to help you do this. But I'm sorry, I just don't know how I can do this without causing trouble for Alabasta, because if I send you on one of our ships with one of our crews, and you go to Water 7, the government is going to be wondering what we're doing there. And if you join the Straw Hats in the process, that's going to be a lot of trouble for the country. So if there was a way I could get you there secretly, then believe me, you'd be leaving immediately. But I just don't know how to do it. And then that's when Pell, who has fully healed up from the explosion of the bomb at this point, he takes center stage, and he tells Vivi and Carl, "Hey, I'm taking you guys. I know I can fly, and we can be discreet about it. Hop on my back. We're flying to Water 7." And so, Vivi and Kawu, they grab their things, they hop up on Pal, which, okay, I know Kawu's like a big, very big duck, but hey, Pal just carried a bomb. It's like several hundred feet in the air, and he still managed to survive the explosion. I'm pretty sure he's strong enough to carry both Vivi and Kawu. So he flies them all the way to Water 7. Maybe he has to take a break here and there, but whatever the case, he gets them to Water 7, and they see like all the government ships all converging on the place, and they land. And Pal is telling Vivi, look, I got you here. Like, we don't have to worry about them spotting one of our ships. But if the government spots you on the Straw Hat ship, they're still going to wonder what's going on. And, Vivi, she acknowledges this. And it's like, don't worry, Pal. Like, the Straw Hats are not leaving yet. I'll take some time, and I'll find a disguise. And so she heads into a nearby clothing store. She buys a mask and whatever else she can find, and she puts it on, and she lets Pal examine her and Kawu too, because she got a disguise for Kawu as well, even though he's a giant duck. It's One Piece, just go with it. So the Pal's like, okay, I guess this works. I mean, hell, Igaram tried to fool Baroque rogues by dressing up like you. Didn't work, but hell, this is at least better than that. So Vivi and Kawu and Pal, they're all running for the docks where the Thousand Sunny is getting ready to set sail. But that's when something catches Vivi's eye, and she sees someone familiar on a nearby beach, and she's like, no, wait a minute. That can't be Usopp. Why is he not with the crew? I mean, I saw his wanted poster with the rest of the Straw Hats. I mean, sure, he was wearing some funny-looking mask and wearing a funny cape, and the wanted posters called him Soga King or Sniper King, and she's like, why is he here by himself when the crew is about to set sail? And so she and Kawu and Pal run to him, and not Sniper King, Usopp, he looks at them all weird, and he's like, Kawu? And Kawu's like, quack, quack. And just like, wait, if you're Kawu, then does that mean you're... And Vivi unmasked herself, and she's like, it's me, Vivi. And Usopp, he's all excited, and they hug, and he's like, what are you doing here? And she's like, I came to join the crew. Why are you not with them? And it's not. I keep calling him Sniper King. Usopp is not Sniper King. Let's just get that out of the way, okay? Even with the wanted poster, he's not Sniper King. That was all some big misunderstanding, okay? Okay, it wasn't him. Sniper King, he disappears until Thriller Bark, and then he disappears forever after that, and then whatever happens to him. But Sniper King's not Usopp, okay? So Usopp tells Vivi what happened, and Vivi, she's kind of surprised that Usopp even took things that far. Like, she's not upset at him. She realizes how stubborn Luffy can be and how irritating he can be at times. Because remember, at the beginning of Drum Island, Luffy was going to pick a fight with the citizens, and that's when Vivi said, you are not fit to be captain of this crew, Luffy. So instead of, condemning Usopp for his actions like we see the rest of the crew do when he's not there, Vivi's like, she kneels down, because at this point, Usopp, he's like on his hands and knees, all upset about what happened. And she's like, hey, look, I know Luffy can be annoying at times, and sometimes you just want to punch him. I mean, hell, Nami does it on like a daily basis. But I can tell you really want to be part of the crew again, and you and Luffy were such great friends. You need to realize what he was doing was for it was in the crew's best interests, and you need to apologize to him. And that's when Usopp admits, like, he wants to apologize to Luffy, especially since he didn't really lash out because the Merry was dying and Luffy was just discarding it. He was also lashing out because he realized there was nothing he could do for the ship, just like how there was nothing, he felt like there was nothing he could do for the crew overall. Like, he was just the sniper, but he just didn't know how that was useful, especially compared to other people like Nami, who's the navigator, and now they have the new shipwright named Frankie, or they're trying to get the new shipwright named Frankie, and the Chopper is the doctor, Sanji, the cook, like, and he's just the sniper. But then at Enies Lobby, he realized the crew does need him because he shot the key over to Frankie, and he released Robin from his shackles, or from her shackles. He realizes the crew does need him now. He doesn't know how to say I'm sorry without, making himself look so foolish for even thinking that to begin with. And Vivi, she doesn't try to, give him a big encouragement speech, because she realizes that Usopp, of all people, is just as stubborn as Luffy at times. For him to truly understand how much he needs to apologize, for him to really do the deed, he needs to experience the same pain that she felt when she saw the Straw Hats sail away without her. And so she's like, Usopp, I am a diplomat. I'm the princess of a country. I know how to do diplomacy. And I promise you, when we get back onto the Thousand Sunny, I will sit down with you and Luffy, and I will help you to patch things up. And Usopp, he's like, do I really have to say I'm sorry to them? And she's like, it seems that's the only way. But if we talk to Luffy, maybe we can get him to say he's sorry for some of the things he did as well. And you can see just how much you guys, as well as the rest of the crew, needs each other. So Usopp and Vivi with Pell and Karu, they run to the show, and they can see, Gulp, he's attacking the Sunny with all his might. And Usopp, he starts calling for them, and he's like, oh, by the way, guys, I have V. And before he can shout that last part out, she hits him as hard as she can. She's like, you idiot, don't say my name. And she's like, right. Guys, here, I'm here. I came back to sail with you, to become the king of the pirates crewmate again. And, this goes on like it did in the canon storyline. The crew is like, I can't heal him. And, they don't even realize Vivi is with them, especially since she's wearing the disguise now. So eventually Usopp comes to the realization he did in the canon storyline that, yeah, Vivi's right. I have to say I'm sorry with as loud as I can, with all my heart. I need to tell them I'm sorry. And so he, falls to his knees and he shouts to the heavens, I'm sorry! And Luffy and everyone tones, and they're just like, we heard that. And they even realize, hey, there's someone with him. There's a few people with him and a duck. Wait. And, Nami and, all the smart members of the crew, they're just like, is that Vivi? And, they really encourage Luffy, like, get him and get the girl and the duck. And so he wraps his arm around Usopp and Vivi and Karu. He's strong enough to lift all three of them. And Pell, at this point, he's backed away. And Luffy, he pulls them all on board. And no time to be like, oh my gosh, Vivi, and it's okay, Usopp, we'll work things out. No time for that just yet. We need to get away from the world government, which eventually they do, and Luffy and Usopp, they were crying. Everyone's crying. There was so much emotion going on, especially now that Vivi has joined the crew. Oh, most of them know Vivi has joined the crew at this point. And then, they're all happy. It's a happy moment. And then later that night, Vivi, she forgets to, or later that day, she forgets to take off the mask. And once it was finally back to safety, and, everyone's like, okay, we're all back together again. But Vivi, what are you doing here? And they're like, Luffy and Chopper, they're like, Vivi? And, she takes off her mask, and she's like, yeah, guys, it's me. I'm sorry. I didn't know what to do when I saw you guys sailing away from the government, but I realized you guys were here on Water 7 after I read what happened in the newspaper, and I realized it was my chance to finally come find you guys and officially join the crew. And so everyone is like, yes, of course, welcome aboard, Vivi, we're so glad to have you again. And Robin, she being the smallest one of the entire group, she's not really worried, because obviously if Vivi read the paper and saw the wanted posters, she knows Robin's a part of the crew, so she realizes, right, hey, Vivi must have put everything aside from what happened between them before, and she'll be okay if Robin addresses what she thinks is the elephant in the room, that being that Vivi is Vivi, and we can't have the government finding out about her. And so Vivi's like, yeah, I know, that's why I got the disguise, that way the government wouldn't see me, and I'm perfectly okay wearing it if it means that I can be with you guys. And so everyone's like, well, yeah, you can do that, but now if that's the case, you're gonna need a new name to use. And so Vivi's thinking about it, and she looks at all the wanted posters that they're scattered out on the table, or maybe the article or the newspaper. She brought it with her and she showed it to them, and she's looking at it, and she's like, she gets a big smile on her face. She's like, I got it. I'll be Sniper Princess. And everyone's like, at first everyone's like, huh? And she's like, yep, I'm gonna be Sniper Princess. And Usopp, you're gonna teach me how to do so, or how to become her. And Usopp is like, I mean, I don't really have anything else to do, so why not? Welcome aboard, Sniper Princess. Everyone's like, welcome aboard, Sniper Princess. And she, end of that particular episode, or maybe the end of that, end of that episode. So yeah, that is the first video in my What If Vivi Joined the Crew fanfiction series. And I guess next one will be what she would do on Thriller Walk. Should be exciting.